Good morning. Hi, Sharona.
Good morning, Tamar. Good morning to everyone. And as usual, to make it truly good, let's be sure at least one prong is plugged into that beautiful inner world. And the other one, of course, still connected to reality. So we go within with just this one thought. There is inside me another energy. Imagine the energy of the countryside. Imagine the energy standing by the shore of a small lake in the countryside. Feel the coolness, the spaciousness, the largeness. And it is not a memory or your imagination. It is the very energy of you at your core. So be sure always to enjoy yourself. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Today's thought. Nowadays, there are many who are artificial. Nowadays, there are many who are artificial.
It's just a big contrast from the countryside now to the artificial part. But
Yeah.
may I ask, when you say many,
Yeah.
who is artificial? I know there's a lot of AI and there's a lot of artificial in the world, but when you say many, what are you talking about?
Many people. Many people. We're not talking about all the controversy around artificial intelligence. We're talking about something that's happened to the human spirit and the relationship we have with life, you could say. Many have a artificial.
Can you repeat that last sentence? We didn't hear you.
Many have a relationship with life, which is quite artificial, which is another way of saying a relationship with my own self, which is very artificial. And if my relationship with my own self is artificial, what is the quality of my relationship with others? Many people wouldn't even think about their relationship with themselves. But that artificiality starts there.
I need to slow down because I'm trying to think, okay, where am I artificial in my relationship with myself? And I'm trying to think, what does it mean? And I'm not sure even. Can you give us an example or something?
I think of two things. First of all, it's a language you're familiar with and you use a lot in our conversations, so I'm also learning it. It would have something to do with every time I'm not true to myself.
Okay.
But then maybe I don't know maybe I'm not used to operating according to my principles and my values. Maybe I've not really defined those for myself. So I'm artificial without realizing it, but the sign that I'm becoming more and more artificial is that I feel a disconnect with myself and my responsibilities, myself and my profession, my career, myself and the people who I love and who are around me, a kind of disconnect. That could be the sign. So even though maybe I've not defined principles and values, let alone required myself to live by them, that could be a sign. But a second thing, well, I think we can just go on that for the moment.
Yeah, because I was thinking about places where you're not in your authenticity or not true with yourself, like you said. And then I thought maybe there are more places
there are
that I don't even see, that I'm artificial, but I don't see it. Now I do have my values and I know my values. So, but I still feel when you say that sentence that I need to look where are those parts where I'm artificial. So how can we find those places?
Again, there are signs, but another entry point into this idea of artificial is a kind of background experience of yourself, conscious or unconscious, that I am not enough. What follows very closely is I'm not good enough. But even before we get to I'm not good enough is I'm not enough. And I remember one of the very first experiences I had of not being enough. And I would have been young, like about 12 or 13 years old. I grew up, I had very good parents, good siblings, good education, good everything. And I was quite clear about what I liked, what I didn't like. I had very firm opinions about everything, and I voiced them. I had no problem with who I was, so to speak. And then what happened was I got invited to a party at someone in my school who was very wealthy, coming from a very wealthy family, very wealthy neighborhood, very wealthy home. They had their own swimming pool in the back. And everybody there, I'm talking 12 years old, everyone there was dressed to the nines. The expression, maybe people don't know it, but it means they had, fashionable clothes. They were all dressed according to a certain fashion. And I was a kind of person raised in a very middle class, conservative environment. I had my favorite pair of shorts. I had my favorite pair of jeans and a t-shirt. That's all I wore. I didn't know about fashion, actually, or I didn't get into it. But in that environment, that was when it emerged very strongly for me that I don't fit here. But the problem was I wanted to fit. I felt less. And that was a whole new experience for me, which then grew and grew and grew because, and I think this is the seed of artificiality, I didn't know the truth about myself as the being inside the human form. So while you don't know about the being inside the human form, all the decoration goes onto the human form. Not just fashion, but labels like, profession, career, and all this stuff. And I started heading towards that. I figured if that's what's needed to cut it in the world, to be heard in the world, I felt I had important things to say, but people needed to know I was trusted to listen to, trustworthy. So I slowly but surely entered that whole pathway of basically becoming less and less true and more artificial, just to be able to fit in.
I think you said many concepts here. So I want to, there's a lot of things you said and very important. First of all, when we feel we need to act, we're not ourselves. We need to be something else.
That's right.
And the other very nice thing you said, because I wanted to fit in.
That's right.
And many people, they want to fit in, which is also some kind of, it makes you less in touch with yourself. Because nobody said that you can't fit in with those genes. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. I don't know. Maybe it is the society for you, maybe it's not. Maybe they will laugh and you have something else you bring to the society they really like, and it will be fine with genes. So first of all, knowing ourselves, and I think a lot of the times people feel when they're not themselves because they feel they are getting tired. When we're trying to be something that is not ourselves, we're getting tired. It's as easy as that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign for that. So first of all, check if you know that you're not yourself. And second of all, why do you want to do that? And I want to introduce, it also happens with things that we do even by ourselves, no society. I can tell you, for instance, I'm in my 3rd day of fasting now. Okay, I'm in fasting. And at evening, I got hungry yesterday evening. And I was trying to understand, why am I fasting? What were the reasons for the fastings? And I had to acknowledge that some of the reasons were I just wanted to be just with myself. And when I'm fasting, it's a very clear sign. I want to be with myself now. I know my body, I put less work, I go more inside. I wanted that. And I was trying to think, because I was thinking, should I eat or not? Should I stop the fasting or not? And so what I'm saying here, be true, is like, look really deep and look, why are you fasting? And this time, and it's nice because every time it's a different, usually I want to connect to a higher vibrations. That's usually, but this time, no. I just wanted to be with myself. And acknowledging that, which was not easy for me yesterday, because it was saying to myself, I wanted to take some time off my family a little bit, get all the noise that outside, it's like more, I felt like I was running away, usually when I go for fasting, I go towards something. And this time I felt I wanted to hide. And it wasn't easy to acknowledge that. But the minute I acknowledged that, the hunger left. It was really amazing to see. The hunger just left. And I think so what I'm trying to say, and I'll let you, I see you have a question. I'm trying to say, it doesn't need to have society around it.
But at what point, in your example, at what point were you artificial, and at what point did you stop being artificial?
I think when I didn't acknowledge my true reason for going on a fasting, for fasting. Okay, I avoided it. I didn't, I said to myself, what are my intentions when I started fasting? Everything is nice, high level, high conscious, but there was something else there that needed attention. And when you're fasting, usually you understand it by your hunger. Now, I wasn't looking this time of what I'm hungry for or something like that. I was just checking what will happen for me if I eat, what will happen for me if I don't eat, what do I feel like for myself, why did I do it? I came back to the reasons, the why inside.
Right.
And that point, I felt I wasn't really true about the reasons. I didn't look correctly at the reasons I went into fasting this time.
Right. So it's being true to yourself, even though it was slightly different kind of reasoning and logic behind it. But when you were honest and true to it, then you felt like you left the artificiality behind.
Yeah. So I think notice artificiality, it could be tiring. It could be driving us to eat, emotional eating. It's also a sign of artificial. Something is wrong for me in the situation, and I have to understand how to align it. We're talking a lot about alignments, words, thoughts, feelings.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about, we're using the word artificial, and it's also the word false. False sense of security, false sense of identity.
Yeah.
All these false things. There's another entry point that occurred to me when I understood this thought or started thinking about it, and that is that, when you're talking about artificial flowers or artificial anything, it's trying to imitate something that is real. It's an imitation.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that less in your example, more in the example that I was giving. I was trying to imitate what I thought was true, a better truth, a higher truth. Because
here.
there you
because
go.
I was trying to imitate the higher truth of going into fasting.
That's right.
To connect to higher vibration. That's
right. The higher reasons you used to give yourself, you wanted it to be that, but it wasn't. Yeah. And then we don't do the real work, right? Of, no, I'm here today and I have to do whatever I need to do to get to that point eventually, but I'm not going to say that I'm there to start with, because I'm not. The interesting thing is that when this thought is, nowadays there are many who are artificial, that's where everything starts getting very scary, or I should say very threatening. We need to really be looking at it, because I started imitating these girls, 12-year-olds at that time, which then became 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 30-year-olds, before I started waking up to what was going on and the emptiness that came into my life as a result of that. I thought they were happy. I was not happy. So I thought that I discovered the reason why I wasn't happy, that I obviously wasn't with it enough. It started with clothes, something very external, but it could have also been ideas, opinions. I remember the first day I got angry. I remember it. I never otherwise got angry in my life. And people worried about it. They said, you're going to make yourself sick because you're repressing your anger. But I used to feel, long before I could ever get angry, I understood what the person was going through. I understood the situation. So I could never get angry. And I remember looking around, these girls got angry, people got angry, the world got angry. They looked happier, so maybe I should get angry too. And I taught myself how to get angry. By the time I was 20, I had a master's degree in throwing a temper. And I thought that I was improving things for my life, but actually I was just getting further and further away from principles and values which had nurtured me and allowed the soul to.
Right. I see we have a bad connection. We're just about the end. I'll share with you, let's see if Sharona comes back in, but I'll share with you that just today I was talking to my husband. He works in the computers, and I told him, would it be very nice if there was something that could tell us when it's true and when it's not, what is true and what is not. We usually talk about articles or anything else. Just knowing that something is truth makes us quiet, makes us understand what's going on. And I feel it's about ourselves also. So we'll take a minute, an inner quiet peace, 1 minute, to come back to our higher self, to our true self, and just enjoy feeling ourselves like dancing in the woods. when nobody hears or sees. Just being true, feeling every part of our body, spirit and soul, just as it's supposed to be. On this note, we'll say goodbye. And this is our last program for July. Starting August, we'll start our programs on YouTube. You can look in the Brahma Kumaris channel, and there is a list. We'll put the playlist in the Zoom here, the link, and also we'll put it on the YouTube channel so you can see it. So have a nice weekend, nice end of July, and see you in August. Bye-bye.